Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate the response. I'm Reverend Mary Murray Shelton. I'm the community spiritual leader here at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. That's where you are this morning, in case you didn't know. Those of you online, we want to welcome you as well. We hope that you realize that you are part of our congregation. You're just the online folks, as opposed to the in-the-room folks. So we're delighted to have all of you here this morning. We are a congregation that believes in the wholeness of every human being, just as they are. And so we welcome you into accepting that about yourself and each other at the highest possible level. So let's begin that by saying good morning to each other. So I'm going to invite you to stand up, walk around, introduce yourself to anyone you don't already know. Just say hi, make people welcome. And those of you at home, make yourselves welcome. Have another cup of tea, coffee, take a little jaunt around the living room, wherever you may be. And in just a few minutes, we'll all come back together and we'll sing the opening song, and I invite you to join us when we do that. All right, good. So this morning, we have Amy Steinberg back with us again. She is such a character. She was born in Boston, moved to Florida when she was a little girl, started studying music and theater when she was 4. She lives in Asheville, North Carolina now, where she is the founder and creatrix of the House of Love and Light, which is an online spiritual community. But she's been the musical director in a bunch of our centers in different places. And she's always delighted to be back with Golden Gate. I got a chance to meet her actually in South Carolina at the convention this year. And I would love it if we could actually have her here at some point. We'll see. But for now, she's with us this way. So please stand and prepare to sing. We're going to sing I'm Opening Up in Sweet Surrender. You know that song, I think most of you. So we'll just sing along. It's pretty easy. Here we go.
Good morning, Golden Gate.
Good morning, Amy.
Excuse my messy art space. I've been creating like crazy. I think that's what the summertime does for me. This is a classic opener. I hope you'll join me singing. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. Join me singing. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. How about a clap? I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening.
be seated. And now that we have lifted our voices and greeted one another and come together in that way, now we're going to come together inwardly as we move into our center and get ready to open up to all that the service has for us this morning. So Reverend Judith Fleener is our morning practitioner, and she's going to open us up.
Standing in the center of the luminous love light of the One, remembering that that infinite power, that infinite presence, which is the divine energy that enlivens everything, is always present everywhere and in everyone. It is in this place of knowing the truth that that energy, that light lives within, and I see it without, in the beauty of the world around me. In this centered place, I just claim for each and every soul a knowingness, a rekindling, a re-remembering of the truth of that inner being within, that there is strength and power at the center of every being. This power, this boldness of being is there ready to emerge in each moment. And it is an inner awakening. It need not express itself in bold outer ways. There can be a pure, peaceful power of presence that is bold as the extravagant outward expressions are. And so I claim for each person that awakening in your heart and in mind of the truth, of the love and the centeredness and the peaceful power that exists within and can emerge and change the world without through various means. And so this can be the source of healing, whether that be physical healing, relationship healing, financial healing. And that this time together be a moment of remembering who we are. That the words from Mary are calm and powerful and emerge from that sense from within, knowing exactly what needs to be said to resonate in the heart of each individual for exactly what is needed. That the music of Amy fills us up, and the presence of friendship and connection and conversation uplifts the soul, bringing us forward into the new week. And so for this service and all that emerges from it, because of that rekindling of the boldness within, I give thanks. I call it good, and I let it be. And so it is.
This is called purpose. I've been through the desert, walked in the ocean, climbed up a mountain, and I've sang in the wind. I've cried out in the moonlight, and I've drank that potion. I've wished in the fountain, and I've lived in sin. I keep searching for an answer to make me complete. But every time I think that I found it, the ground shifts under my feet. What I know is every moment is a blessing, and every love is like a light, and beauty comes comes with every sunrise. And living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose. Sing that with me. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose of life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. I talk to the goddess, lie in the night. I've danced with the devil and I've screamed at the storm. I've cried out in the moonlight and I've drank that potion. I've wished in the fountain and I have lived in sin. I keep searching for an answer to make me complete. But every time I think that I found it, the ground shifts under my feet. What I know is every moment is a blessing, and every love is like a light. Beauty comes with every sunrise, and living is the purpose, living is the purpose, living is the purpose. Sing it with me. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose. Living is the purpose of my life. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and every kiss is a wonder, and every heart is like a shooting star, and you are perfect. You are perfect in this moment. So live out loud, 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 and just be who you are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, living is the purpose. Yeah. Living is the purpose. Come on. Living is the purpose of life. One more time we sing. Living is the purpose. Oh, living is the purpose. Yeah, yeah. Living is the purpose of life. That's right.
So a grand rising, that's our theme for 2023 in Centers for Spiritual Living. So we're actually using this year as an opportunity to examine ways to rise up in consciousness, to actually grow and lift ourselves to a higher level, to live with more courage, to live with more conviction, grounded in what we believe in. And so this is what we're talking about through the whole year. And this month of June, the theme is Holy Boldness. And for those of you who haven't been here, the stairways up the side of the mountain is something that would make me nervous. So it requires some boldness. Now, some of you may look at that and go, big deal. For me, yeah, that would be a big deal. Yeah. Okay, going on from there. Today, I'm talking about that you were built to become bold. How many of you have ever known someone who was bold and confident and brash and out there? I mean, Amy's one, right? And so here's the essential piece of what we're going to look at this morning, and that is that if we recognize that in someone, then we have it ourselves. Otherwise, we wouldn't relate to it, we wouldn't know what it was. So even those who are introverted and shy have a certain level of boldness to them. I think about my mother, who was had a lot of things she was afraid of. She worried a lot. She was rather timid. She was definitely an introvert. And yet, my youngest brother, this was way before I was born, but my youngest brother, when he was in high school, skipped school with a bunch of friends. They all told their parents they were staying overnight at somebody else's house, and they went to the park to drink beer, and they got arrested, and they spent the night in jail. And the next morning, and my mother did not drive, the next morning, she was called from jail to come and pick him up, which my dad was already gone. I mean, she was stunned, and because she didn't drive, she called my Uncle Vic to take her to go and pick up my brother. And the sergeant at the desk was very snide about these kids. And my mother drew herself up to her 5'4" height and said to him, My son has never done anything like this before, and I'm sure it will never happen again. There's no need to take that tone," was essentially what she was saying. My mother, what a bold thing for this little lady to do. And then my Uncle Vic thought this whole thing was hilarious, so he'd been making jokes about it all the way down there, and Mom said, "This is not a joke." Okay. And then when Dick got in the car, she said to him, "Do you want to tell your father about this, or shall I?" And my brother said, "No, I will." So even somebody who rarely showed a moment of fierceness had it in her when it was triggered to bring it forward and use it in the service of somebody else. It was there, dormant. It wasn't often seen, but it was there. So when we look at this process of being built to become bold, it's kind of a circular thing. You know, for the most part, we start off that way, and then we learn a lot, and we become more and more. I mean, the older we get, the more we realize we don't know anything. But at the same time, there's a certain liberation as we get older in terms of saying what we think and not worrying so much about what other people think. Have you found that? And maybe a little more direct. We are encoded with a certain kind of boldness already that is natural to us. There's a story about a kindergarten teacher who had all her children drawing pictures, and she had told them that they could draw anything that they wanted. And then she'd walk around and look at what they were drawing, and she'd say to one little one, "Well, what are you drawing?" And this little child said, "I'm drawing a house." And she went to another one and said, "And what are you making?" And he said, "A snowman." And then she went to another little girl who was working very diligently, but the teacher wasn't sure exactly what that was. And she said, "And what are you drawing?" And she said, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher said, "Really? Well, honey, no one knows what God looks like." And with total confidence, without missing a beat, the little gal said, "They will when I'm finished." That's the kind of confidence that we have as little kids. I can do it. 2-year-olds will say, "No, me do it." You know, "Don't you do it this for me, me do it." I can remember my grandson, he was about 2 and not very steady on his feet. And we were in a play area with a big play equipment thing, and he was walking up and climbing on it. And there were bigger kids around who were carelessly just dashing. I thought somebody's going to knock him right off into the sawdust. And so I was kind of playing point guard, trying to make sure he was okay. And we're walking up the ramp into this thing, and my little 2-year-old grandson, he turns around and he goes, "No, Nana." It's like, okay, Toby. That one is now 17. But in that moment, it was like, oh my God, he doesn't want me to hover. And he's just this little tiny person who could fly right off of this thing, and I have to let him go ahead. That confidence that we come into, we start off with that in the most amazing way. And so when we want to know about what is bold, I think that nature gives us a clue right off the bat. Nature is so amazing. I tried to look it up yesterday. Why do birds in flocks know that they're all going to turn this way or that way at the same moment? It's not like they're waiting for their neighbor, because there would be delays. It's a unison, totally smooth thing. And right now, I guess the theory is that somehow they anticipate. It's only one mind, right? So schools of fish do the same thing. Now, the theory about that is that they kind of have a zone around them. I guess it would be like their comfort zone. And they move so that another fish won't get too close to them. But that also doesn't explain to me why they all move simultaneously. It said on this one website very definitely, this is not groupthink. I thought, how do you know? So this one mind that is able to move that also has plants that are growing out in nature. They communicate with each other. Certain kinds of plants, if they're attacked by certain kinds of pests, will send out a scent that other plants pick up on. And it attracts other kinds of critters who are predators of the thing that's eating them. How can they do that? Where's the brain? How does that happen? They know. They communicate through their roots to each other. They communicate it where there's water. They communicate where there's danger. All of this communication is going on under the ground all the time. It's amazing. It's amazing what they can do. There are fish who live at such a depth in the ocean that we would be crushed. They don't even have eyes because there's no light, and they live down there. They thrive down there. How does that work? I don't know. So nature is already amazing in its ability to thrive and survive and cooperate, and it seems to me that everything that exists is clearly imbued with God, whether we're aware of all this mystery or not. It's already there, right around us, right in front of us. We have a tendency, I think, as human beings, to look at evidence about animals or plants and kind of impose an anthropomorphic assumption on top of it, making it more a human interpretation of what they're doing than maybe actually watching and really seeing what they're doing. There's a particular bird, and I can't remember what it's called now, when it does its mating dance, the male fans out like this and becomes this sort of fan-shaped thing with this bright turquoise and dances to attract the females. Like, look at me, how can you resist, right? I'm just the hottest thing you ever saw. And it's amazing what they do. Yesterday I saw on the internet an insect that looks exactly like a walking orchid. Amazing. Orchids that have faces. Some look like monkeys, some look like babies. I mean, why? There's no real need for that. I think God was just having fun. So nature is giving us a clue that there is boldness already present, and the way that it needs to be expressed is right where we are. We start where we are, and we use what we've got. This flower coming up out of the sidewalk, there are now little plants coming up, little tiny plants coming up. I'm trying to remember where it is in the world. I want to say Australia, in a place that was so devastated with drought that there's absolutely nothing living for miles around. And these little tiny 2-inch flowers are coming up out of that soil. Nature is bold. It finds a way in spite of the most unfavorable, apparently, conditions and circumstances. So nature is giving us a message because it is optimistic, it is persistent, and it is resilient. And we are all those things. I found these two things online when I was looking up information about plants. Oh, here it is. Botanists have identified a new plant species in a small forest fragment in northwestern Ecuador, highlighting the importance of preserving even small patches of threatened ecosystems. The tiny plant, only 2 inches tall, was found growing on a boulder in an area that has lost 70 to 97% of its original forest cover due to agricultural expansion and past government policies that led to deforestation. It's coming back. You can't keep a good plant down, apparently. On another website, it said, every plant is a miracle of self-construction and performance. We rely on about 50 of these miracles to keep us fed each day. And it takes 100 trillion miracles to feed the world every day. Everything on our plates, vegetables, fruit, bread, meat, relies on plants. Without plants, we and all other animals would not be here. All of the cooperation that takes place on this planet, it takes place with a kind of interconnected boldness. Like even finding ways across boundaries. We all see pictures on the internet of animals of two very different species who become best friends. How does that happen? A deer and a kitten. How does that happen? I've seen cats sleeping on horses, on their backs, just all stretched out, sleeping there. Horse is fine. How does that happen? So the energy of doing that, the boldness of that cat that climbs up there to do that, is in us as well. And Alan Locke, who is the Buddhist meditation teacher that was so badly burned in a plane crash, he says, our life can be transformed by even a minimal change in our perception. Do not allow yourself to be held captive by your thoughts and emotions. That last part I love. Do not allow yourself to be held captive by your thoughts and emotions. Because we're not only here to just live out our lives and learn whatever lessons we need to learn and give whatever gifts we came to give, although I tend to think of those as our two main things. We come to learn a lesson and give a gift. And I often say the best way to learn your lesson is to give your gift, because it will provide you with all the challenges that you need to face. But we get locked in, I think, as we grow up, to depend on what feels comfortable and familiar and safe, because it gives us a sense that we know what's going on. We know what we're doing. We can predict what's going to happen next. None of that is true, but we can lull ourselves into that sense of complacency about everything. And part of the way we do that is by keeping ourselves as safe as possible all the time. The flip side of that, I mean, it's great to feel safe and secure, but the flip side of it is we lock down so that we can't grow. I had a biologist tell me once that when cells get ready to divide, which they do, that's what they do all the time, that before they actually divide, the cell stretches itself to its maximum ability to stretch, and then it grows, then it divides. So I think that's a model for us too, that when we are resistant to anything that is offering us another way of seeing something, another way of thinking about something, another possibility to explore, an opportunity to change, our tendency may be to resist it. When I was in Orange County and was a minister in Huntington Beach, we had our complex, our center, in an open-air mall, kind of like the ones that we have right here in Corte Madera. We had an open-air mall, and that's where our center was. That's where our sanctuary was. That's where our bookstore was. We had all these spaces within this mall. But we knew that we needed to move from the mall. There was going to be a reconfiguration of the mall, or they were going to tear it down and rebuild it. And so I would talk to the congregation about the necessity of us moving. And Amanda used to say, every time you bring that up, energetically, I feel the room go like this. And that is what we do internally when change invites us. Who, me? No. No, find somebody else. No, I'm not available. No, I don't want to do that. No. But sometimes that's exactly what we need to do. Do you know, have you had this experience where you overcome a no somehow of your own? I'm not just asking this rhetorically, I really want to know. Has that ever happened to you? Yes? So we come into this place where we want to use what we already have to let us stand in our lives and be who we are, unapologetically be who we are. We see a lot more people in the world today insisting on being who they are, whether other people are comfortable with it or not. Now, most of us kind of know how to look like, we fit in. We're like everybody else. But any one of us, if we examined each other in depth, or if we revealed each other in depth, we would find that we're all quirky and odd. We're all a little different somehow. And most of us in the process of growing up feel like we're different than everybody else. But we don't want anybody to know that because we want to be part of, we want to be included, we want to belong. And the sad news is that we cover up sometimes the best parts of ourselves, not realizing that if we all brought that out, this group that we're in would be so much more interesting and fun and challenging and creative and delightful and amazing. I say this as much for myself as for anybody else. Now, we ourselves are also another clue. Because look at the delight and confidence in this little face. This person does not know there's anything they can't do. This little person is ready to take on the world. In the book of Joshua, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." I once was asked to give a talk for somebody who couldn't show up for a conference, and the title of it was "Into the Presence." And I thought about that. I was still in ministerial school at the time, and I thought about that. And the first thing I said when I stood up was, into the presence. It's impossible. There's no way to get into the presence. Because the truth is, you can't get out. That's what's really true. You can't get out. There's nowhere else to go. And so we already possess within us an inborn confidence. We came in with it. We may have learned to be humble and set it aside, or be more discerning, or more diplomatic, or maybe we just shut down. But it's underneath in there, even if we're not aware of it. There is also an inborn delight and determination. Delight in the discovery of things that we didn't already know, things that are new, an ability to be a being of wonder, a being of curiosity, a being of determination. When my niece was 2 years old, her family lived in a house that had 3 front steps, cement front steps. And I remember being over at the house one day, and my niece spent a huge amount of time just climbing up and down those 3 steps, up and down, up and down, up and down. She just kept doing it again and again and again. And she'd laugh, and she'd do it again, and she'd laugh. She did it until she was so tired, she couldn't do it anymore. She was still trying to go, but she just couldn't do it anymore, and she just sat down and bawled. She was determined to keep going. She was not going to give up. Little kids don't fall down 3 times when they're trying to learn to walk and go, oh, well, I guess it isn't going to work. I'm not very good at it, and I look stupid when I fall down, so that's it, I'm done. They don't do that. They never do that. We all went through the process of learning how to walk. Do you think you didn't fall down a bunch of times in the process? So this is us. We are beings of curiosity and wonder. But we can derail our own curiosity and wonder when we begin to behave as if we know everything already. And we're not open to changing or growing or learning or letting go of some cherished belief that not only is not serving us, but is actually getting in our way. I can remember Terry Cole Whitaker saying, let go of what clearly isn't working. Get off it. Move on. And that makes so much sense, but when I'm the one, then I hunker down first. And I have to talk myself off the ledge and go, okay, let go. This is the clue. It's time to let go. Back off, Nana, This is it. Rumi said, you were born with potential. You were born with greatness and goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with wings. You're not meant for crawling. So don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly. Instead of being a bird that walks everywhere. I mean, I know there are flightless birds, but that's not what I'm talking about. We don't find birds that are capable of flight choosing to walk. They just don't do it. It would be dumb. Now, that may be instinct on their part. Unfortunately for us, we have a choice. So we can keep our wings folded and stumble around for our whole lives without discovering that magic that's in us. We saw a video a little video online the other day of a baby in one of those little seats, little baby seats that they sit in, had one leg up in the air and had a hold of it with both hands, and was watching the foot in amazement as it moved around with, of course, no awareness that that's my foot, just like fascinated with it. What is it like to allow ourselves to be fascinated with ourselves? To actually think, wow, how did I do that? That's amazing. Or to give ourselves credit for things that we can do that are not easy for other people, but we do them without struggle. To just acknowledge and be thrilled about that. David White said, all of our great contemplative traditions centered on human transformation work with the ancient understanding that what we want and desire in our outer lives at the deepest level must already exist within us to be able to even recognize its essence in the outer world. And of course, I go one step further and say, not only is it existing within us, it's in full bloom. If we want it, if we desire it in our experience, in our expression of life, we're carrying it around with us already. And the idea is to live from that. Because when we let go of want and we live from that, we're like the plant that's attracting what it needs to itself. By putting out a certain kind of vibration, the universe finds irresistible. And it responds to that vibration by bringing us more of what's like that. Well, if we already have it within us, then we want to hang out there a little bit and give that message clearly to the universe. Now, I want to show you, and in order to do this, I'm going to have to actually step away from the podium and go over to my computer. I have 2 little 3-minute videos from the teachers and the students in Ukraine who are using the program on understanding peace that Reverend Dr. Barbara Leger introduced over there a few years ago. It has spread to so many classes, so many teachers, so many students, so many parents, and teachers are actually saying, teachers in these big schools are actually saying to teachers who are teaching these classes, I want to do what you're doing with my students. So she sent me 2 little videos, and normally things that you can view on YouTube, I can implant sort of in the slide deck, but it didn't work with this. So I have to, show them to you on YouTube. So I'm going to do that right now.
I want to thank you for your project. This is like adventure. Each week is so interesting for us. We go step by step to understand and to see what are we doing, how we can change yourselves together. We hugged each other. We draw pictures, we discuss, we took a photo, we send you in your email. Приєдналася вчитель фізики, до нас приєдналася вчитель історії англійської мови. І дуже приємно, коли ти бачиш, що в цій ідеї працює нас більше. We share every week our photos, our ideas in the common chat of our school. We have 200 teachers. And really, it's so cool when several teachers go to you and say, I want to try with my kids, with my students.
Cool.
I'm a fire and I'll keep your
your brittle heart warm. If you cascade, ocean wave blues come. All these people think love's for show, but I would die for your secret. The devil's in the details, but you got a friend in me. Would it be enough if I could never give you peace? Would it be enough if I could never give you peace? Would it be enough if I could never give you peace?
That's one. And here's the other one.
Yeah, and you're right. They are showing us their readiness to be really open, sometimes to us, to this world, to the adults. We are not judging them. We are giving them the chance to do and to create anything in which they are much more open. And because of that, I see that you are like a tutor, you are a mentor. You are becoming like a mentor, but not a teacher. And so, if it is so old to say old school version, yeah, like a teacher, you are teaching, you are mentoring. And frankly, I am also in a process of learning how to change my skills, yeah, of behavior, of teaching, and it really helps me. As they listen and they are reflecting their vision, especially right now in this so hard and tough times we are living. And frankly, I would like to advise a lot of I would like to advise this program to most teachers here in Ukraine. Мені це цікаво. Мені цікаво це як вчитель, тому що за допомогою того, що ми робимо, проходячи різні завдання, як виявляється, змінюються і відкриваються не тільки вони, а я так само.
Гарна писанка у мене, мабуть, кращої нема. Мама тільки помагала, малювала ж я сама. Змалювала дрібно квіти, 8 хрестиків малих.
Y'all ready for this?
Ah. Hmm. Oops, that's not what I want to do. So, the reason I wanted to share those with you today is because we have been tithing to Reverend Dr. Barbara Legier's ministry in Ukraine pretty much since the beginning, more than 20 years ago. She arrived there the day before 9/11 in 2001. And so Barbara, to me, is an example of holy boldness. She had been, as a business person, connected with Cherkasy in Ukraine and came to love the people and the communities there. So when she became a minister, she decided that's where she was going to go. And what she stepped into, she never could have anticipated. But and her original intention was to stay for 10 years. Well, now 22 years on, she's totally heart and soul devoted to this process. with all these kids and their families. That's holy boldness. And I want to share one more short example of holy boldness with you, and then we'll go into prayer. I have an acquaintance, haven't seen him in a long, long time, Father Sean O'Lear, who is a Catholic priest, but also a very unconventional rebel Catholic priest. And I can remember him telling a story once about a dream that he had. He studies dreams. He's got a psychology background and a science background. And so he said he dreamt that he had a container of paper punch, different colored dots. You know how you hole punch and you get all those little cutouts from the holes? So he had a container full of those. And he was given the directive, the voice, shake the container. So he shook the container, and when he did, the colored dots arranged themselves by color bands into stripes. Remember, this was a dream. And so he said, "This is fantastic. It is impossible that this has occurred. I must take a picture of it." And then the voice said, "Shake it again." He really didn't want to do that. He didn't want to lose this wonderful coincidence, you know. But the voice was unrelenting. And so finally, after a certain amount of resistance, he did shake the container again. And this time, the colored dots arranged themselves in concentric perfect circles. And he thought, oh, now that really is just impossible. This is incredible. I must take a picture of it. And of course, the voice came, "Shake it again." Well, he really argued that time. He did not want to lose this amazing experience. So finally, with regret and fear, I think, he shook the container again. And that time, a three-dimensional color image of a girl appeared, made out of these different circles of color. And that time in the dream, Sean covered his ears and ran for a camera. Each time it happened, he thought that was the most amazing thing that could happen. He wanted to permanently be able to keep it because he couldn't bear to lose something so unusual and special and treasured. So he said the lesson is all the potential is already present for a magnificent outcome. Nothing is missing. Shake the container. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, said there is an inner urge in our minds to grow, to expand, to break down the barriers of previous limitations, and to ever widen our experience. This persistent urge is a divine influx, an irresistible force, and constitutes the greatest impulse in human experience. So when you get that little inner urge that says, shake the container, go for it. Namaste. And let's take a moment now to go ahead and anchor this in prayer. So as we turn within, recognizing that there is only one presence, one power, one energy, and it is pure love. Out of this pure love comes everything that exists in form, including ourselves. And contained within that love is every amazing quality we could ever admire or want to emulate or look for within ourselves, all present in that one love, which is what we are. So right here and now, I know for every one of us connecting in this service online, watching later, or present here this morning, that this holy boldness entices us to step forward into our next great experience of expression and love, letting us move forward away from the anchors that have held us back from change, curiosity, discovery, determination, and allowing us to focus and go forward with a great sense of purpose that right where we are, this is where we need to be, that who we are with is exactly right in this moment, and that we can always be directed, be guided, be uplifted to know the next thing to say or do, or when to remain silent or still. We're grateful to take in this wonderful blessing and particularly to treasure the one that we are, each one. So with great gratitude and appreciation, we open our hearts to this greater yet to be that we already are, letting it reveal itself to us in love, letting go our resistance and opening to it with a welcome, with curiosity and confidence and delight. We release this word into that creative law of mind and spirit that knows how and always says yes. So we simply let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Please stand and join me in the morning affirmation. Every accomplishment, every failure, and every form of resistance in my life have been perfectly ordered to help me flourish boldly. I'm grateful for every moment. Nothing has been lost or wasted. I'm at ease with the boldness of my life, and so it is. You may be seated. So we come now into our sacred giving time, and I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward as we prepare to bless and then receive the offering. If you are at home and you want to give a gift to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, we would love that. And you can text a donation by just texting the dollar number you want to give to this number that's up on the screen, and you'll get all the information that you need. And for those of us here in the room, we want to bless all of these offerings being given, everything we received this week, and we want to bless each other as well. So if you are here for the first time this morning, your presence with us here is your gift. And we're going to bless everything that we're about to receive now with this giving affirmation. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is.
This is a song that I wrote with Jamie Lula called Letting Go. Surrender is not a white flag, giving up or giving in. Surrender is giving over to the infinite within. Surrender is not a prison. There are no borders where I live. Surrender is a freedom only letting go can give. Oh, oh, whoa, oh, 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 whoa. I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, the seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. Oh, so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Whoa, 'cause I gotta let go to hold on. But I'm not Pollyanna. I'm in the trenches of the road, and I'm not living blindly. You see, I've got my eyes open and I'm letting go. Whoa, 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 oh, 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 oh. I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, the seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Whoa, 'cause I gotta let go to hold on. I'm not a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. I'm not a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. I'm letting go. Oh, put a little soul into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, I know those seeds are gonna grow. I'm letting go. Gotta let go. To hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on, gonna let go. Hold on, 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 let go. And hold on. Both.
So, on behalf of the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, all of us here accept this offering. And we send it out into the world to empower people to discover their boldness, to stand in their confidence in their truth and be who they really are. And so it is. If you are with us for the first time this morning, I want to draw your attention back to Galen Cooper, one of our prayer practitioners. She's holding up a welcome card. All of the things on that table back there are welcome items for all of our guests. You can pick up anything that you want back there, but make sure that you get a welcome packet. And in that, you'll find a blue card. If you fill that blue card out and give it to Galen, she's going to give you a little gift as our thank you to you for being here today, and also as an invitation to come back and be with us in the future. It's called Nourishing Thoughts. It's a little book full of uplifting thoughts to help us through difficult moments when we're feeling timid or lost. So I encourage you to go back, say hi to Galen, ask her any questions you have, and make sure you get a welcome packet. Also, I want to thank everybody who participated in putting together this morning for us, and I want to let you know that this week we found out, and you probably have noticed in the lobby, we found out that last week the water fountain out there flooded, and everything was flooded. And so until about 2 days ago, it looked like we might be doing our service out there with tents, to protect us from the sun. But knowing that it's going to be a pretty hot day, I'm really glad we wound up in here, aren't you? So let's thank everybody, especially the Frost family and their red, white, and blue gnomes for our wonderful altar this morning. Now, I have a bit of sad news for you, and that is that our dear friend Stan Stefancic made his transition yesterday at 2:20 p.m. He was surrounded by his family. He was very centered and peaceful and ready to go. He approached this like a master. Stan had a very, very incredible life, having marched with Martin Luther King, having had a huge Unitarian church in Atlanta and one in San Francisco, where Howard Thurman's memorial was held. He's known people and done things that would blow your mind, and he was ours. And we loved him dearly. So when we know more, if there's more to know, we will let you know. But we just want you to extend your love to Mariana, his wife, and his family, and everybody that treasured him. And also, Mariana said, when she let me know this, that she has a lot of support right now with all of her family around her, and the underneath message was, give her a little time, don't inundate her, but I'm sure you could send a card or whatever, and she'd be happy to receive that. Oh, I don't have the address. I'll have to give it to you next week. Yeah. Also, I talked to you about sacred travel. Spirit Tours is actually owned by a pair of our ministers who did work with this company for about 20 years before they bought it, and they are taking groups from our churches on tours of sacred places. And I thought, we've got a congregation that's got a lot of retired people and people who like to travel and people who have the time or freedom and money to do that. Let's see if we can't do something like that together ourselves. So in the spring and in the fall of 2025, they have these tours coming up. Bali and New England are both tours that are coming up in the fall. And Bhutan is in April, because that's when they have their best festival, I guess. And so these are the ones that she and I talked about. And if you are interested in any or all of these places, there is an interest sheet. This isn't a commitment. This is just an interest sheet that says you'd like to know more. There's a sign-up sheet at the back table on this side, on the activity table, the events table. Please sign up over there. We are going to have an information meeting with Reverend Karen Fry once we get a little further along to know who might be interested in doing this and if there are enough of us to do that. So I encourage you to let us know if you're interested in one or more of these places. There's a place to check off which ones you're interested in. Also, our Sunday teams have gotten a little thin lately. It's one Sunday a month. And so if you've been reluctant to come early, if you've been reluctant to pitch in, or if you think, yeah, I've done this before, I'm not doing it again, I urge you to reconsider. The universe is asking you to shake the container. If you would be willing to be part of a Sunday team, then I encourage you to talk to any of our Sunday team this morning. They're the ones that greet you at the door, the ones that receive the offering, the ones that will be putting out the snacks in a minute and a half. Talk to them about this. And Paula is the person you want to talk to about the schedule. One Sunday a month. We would love to have you participate on one of those teams. We have two interesting things coming up right now I want you to get on your calendars. One is we're going to do a town hall meeting. We're going to do it after the service on the last Sunday in July for about an hour. So it won't throw off your lunch much. And what we want to do is give you some updates on some things and ask you for some... Okay, now we're just going to know that blessings are taking place in that room, whatever that was, that everybody's okay, and all is well. So we'll let them take care of that now. Yes? And so we invite you to be here for that meeting on the last Sunday in July. And on the first Sunday in August, we are having our summer picnic right out here in the park. And next Sunday, we will have sign-up sheets for clean up and set up and take down and that, as well as what foods or food you'd be willing to bring to share, because we do it as a potluck. And the church will provide a ham and condiments, but we want to have a wide variety of things. So you can look forward to signing up next Sunday. Let us know. That will let us know that you're going to be here and also how you're going to help the whole process take place. Our practitioners are always available for prayer. You can make appointments with individual practitioners for full prayer sessions. But on Sunday, we always have practitioners available at our practitioner table. Reverend M. Louise is available this morning to do prayer with you after the service. So if you have a tremulous heart about anything that is asking you to shake a container, let M. Louise do a treatment for you to assist you with that process. You can just wait at the table here if she's already busy with someone, and then she'll come and get you as soon as she's complete with that. All right. So please stand and join us now for, actually, stay standing. We're going to pray first. So practitioners, would you please surround the room? We're going to go ahead and do a prayer together here in this moment. This is called a chamber of prayer, when all of us pray simultaneously in our own ways for all of us together. And you are encouraged to join us. You don't have to speak out loud, but all the practitioners will. So just allow yourself to open up to receive the blessings that are being specifically tailored for you out of this prayer. And so it is. Now, I'm going to invite you to join us in the closing blessing, which we say in unison, and the closing song. So please join me. I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally. And so it is. And here we have our final song. We know this one too.
Thank you so much for having me again, Golden Gate. We let the love wash over us. This wonderful
Remember to
tune
take
by
the music
Ricky
director's
Byers.
job
Really
description
allow
if you didn't get
yourself
one.
to feel it, and you can even do
Back
the
table.
hand motions where you let it wash over you like that. It feels so good. We'll let the love, the peace, the joy, and have a wonderful week. It goes like this. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Joy. We let the joy wash over us. Feel it. We let it be. We let it be. We let the peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Let's do the joy one more time. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Have an amazing week. You are the joy. You are the love.